Hello, and welcome to Hands on Tarot, where I show you the many ways you can use tarot for more than just divination and help you grow your tarot practice. I'm Susie Gourlay, and I've been using tarot for many years to create my future rather than just predict it. Today we are going to be exploring tarot spells. So to start off, I apologize if you hear a low humming behind me. It is July in Saskatchewan and it is incredibly hot, and I do not have air conditioning and my house is sweltering and my studio is upstairs, so bear with me, otherwise I might perish up here without the fan going. So tarot is a representation of the book of life. It shows all of the archetypes that we may meet in life. It captures the levels of initiations we may experience, and it does not shy away from the hardness that life can throw our way. That's a quote from Ethany Dawn. So using tarot for spell work. I'm going to be using the Spellcaster's Tarot today, which is... Where did my book go? Which is a really great deck, specifically if you're looking to use tarot and spellcraft together. Each card is organized in a way in the guidebook that gives you magical uses for each of them. So this book, the guidebook for this deck, will be really helpful for you in that way. The only thing with this deck is the suit of cups, I think. Oh, swords are fire in this case, and wands are air. So those two are switched around in this particular deck. If that doesn't work for you, use what you know best. So the Modern Witchcraft Book of Tarot by Skye Alexander here says that tarot cards can serve as visual aids in spellcraft, which enhances your spells and rituals. You can designate a card to represent you in a spell or ritual. So, if you're having a bad day, you might choose the Five of Cups to represent you. There it is there. If you want to bring back some power, you might choose the Queen of Swords. Or Justice. That's a really great one. Actually, I use the Justice card in tarot quite a bit when dealing with bullies. So that's a really great one to pull out as well. But you can choose a card to represent what you're wanting. 10 of Cups for happiness, and we'll go through some of these. But you can pull out a card to designate or represent you in a spell or ritual. You can select a card that depicts an outcome you desire and incorporate it into a spell. You can include cards in talismans or amulets. So little cards like this in these mini decks, these are really great to have to put within, say, a charm bag. You can sew one in here. I've included little cards like this in witch balls that I've given to people as gifts. They make really great tools for spell work, really, because you can wear them on you, put them in a bag. They're not going to take up a lot of room. They're the perfect little size for that. And you can also imprint your water to absorb energy. So, for example, if I'm looking with this Eight of Pentacles here, if I'm looking to develop my skill in crafts, grow in an area of creativity, I could put this card down and place my glass of water over that card and imprint the energy of that card into the water, which I then consume and drink. So I am absorbing those energies as I drink that water. If you know feng shui, you can position a card in a prescribed place in your home to help bring about conditions that you seek as well. So let's say we want to begin choosing a deck for spell work. So this information came from the Tarot Readers Academy, which is the school that I took both of my tarot courses through, and I've also been a member of the Awakened Soul Coven for the last 5 years. So pick a deck that you'll not cry over if it gets candle wax on it. Anointing oil, scuff marks, sometimes you might even write on a card, so you don't want to have to worry too much about that. Writing on cards can be optional, but if this is a working deck, not a pretty deck, keep that in mind. Don't use one-of-a-kind prints or collector's decks. You can get duplicate decks or secondhand ones, even just individual cards. In my last discussion, I talked about magpie decks. You could use those for your cards if you're looking to get a specific card that you're looking for. Hay House and Book Outlet often have inexpensive decks, so they're also good for these sorts of things. You can also laminate a card or put them in card covers for extra protection, so there's card sleeves that you can use, and this way any damage is not going to ruin the deck. You can also scan cards on your computer and print them out, and that paper copy will also be just as good as having the card itself. You can use oracle cards with all of these spells if you wish, so you don't have to use a tarot deck. You can also add in a supporting oracle card to the spell. If you're casting a spell for courage, for example, and you have an oracle card with the title of courage, of course that makes sense, but you don't have to make things more complicated. So tarot cards will do just fine alone, but so will oracle cards. Okay. So one thing that I like to do is a blessings and activation ritual when I get a new tarot deck. I've adapted this from Avalon Cameron, and this is where I learned how to activate and bless a deck that I've received. So I find I can connect better with a deck once I've cleared any old energy and activated it with an intention ritual. Start by going through. So if I just received this deck, I'm going to go through and I'm going to look at each card. There's the Queen of Swords we were looking for. So how does each image make you feel? You know, pay attention. Don't just flip through and go, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I've gone through each card like this. Actually take the time to look at the image, see what's going on, and see how that card relates to how you learned your tarot system. You know, for example, Eight of Wands for card of action. We do see that bird flying very swiftly, and it has a cape on, you know, taking action right away. So go through each one of your cards and have a really good look at it. So once you've done that, I usually place my deck down on an altar cloth or a tarot cloth, and I want to start clearing my deck. So a few things that you can do is you can burn charcoal with some herbs, you can burn sage, some incense, and pass your deck through the smoke. So that way you're using that air element. You can place a clear quartz, amethyst, or selenite with your deck. There's incorporating the element of earth. You can charge your deck under the full moon, and you can even pass your deck over a glass of water and say, I bless this deck with the element of water. Even fire, you can hold a candle above it. If you're going to hold your deck above a candle, just be careful you don't burn underneath. But I do try to bless it with each of the 4 elements. I will often sprinkle herbs around, crystals, anything that I feel intuitively goes with the deck. You know, for this Spellcaster's deck, I might include each of the elements on each 4 sides. I might sprinkle eye bright for intuition. I might have some amethyst around for the psychic ability, some labradorite, moonstone, things like that I connect with clear quartz points. Depending on the deck theme too, I might include certain things. So I had a deck that was really water related, so I had a crab shell on top, water to the side, different symbols like shells and stuff like that represented that water element. I place my hands over the deck and set my intentions. So my intention for this deck, for example, is for Spellwork. I am looking for very clear, concise results, and I'm looking for some resolution to any problems that I may have or to help other people. I then leave my deck for at least 3 days or however long you feel you need to leave it for. It could be a moon phase, it could be part of a moon phase, whatever you like. That is the blessings and activation ritual, pretty much very simplified. You can take as long as you want. You can cast a circle beforehand if you like. Anything to make it feel special. Even lighting a candle will absolutely do that. So to do spell work with your tarot, you want to set up your space. To put you in the right mindset, I feel it's important to make your spell casting more like a ritual, which really helps add strength to your magic. As I had mentioned, even lighting a candle can change the whole feel of a room or a situation. So cast a circle, choose your cards, cast your magic, so do your tarot spell. Give thanks, which I find is probably one of the most important things that's often missed out, is that gratitude. Give thanks if you're bringing in any energies, any deity, even those elemental totems or anything, any energies that you've brought in. Remember to thank them for being there, and then close your circle. You can use tarot cards as focal points. So a focal point for meditation, for example, let's see here. So 2 of Cups. So if I'm looking to, create some more strength in relationships, or bring some unity, some cohesion, and some connections at an emotional level, perhaps create some memories, I might choose the 2 of Cups, for example, as a focal point for meditation. And I might enter into this image and look around and see what lessons there are for me there. Tarot cards make great images for altars as well, so you can use them in place of a deity or a statue. I have some tarot decks that have different goddess images on them, so you might use those in place of the actual, just to welcome in that goddess. If you have money, or if you have a money or romance or altar of those kinds, you can use 2 or 3 cards to blend their energies for your spell work. There's also little card holders that are perfect for holding a single card upright, and these also come with a space for putting a tea light in it. You could also use a photo frame or a large binder clip as well. For charging, simply pop the tarot card under the item that you're wanting to enchant or charge, and visualize the energies melding together. So if you struggle to enchant items by yourself, a tarot card is a useful prop to do that sort of thing. It's also useful if you want a specific kind of energy, but you're struggling to word it or think of an image that may describe it. So if you're looking for money, for example, 10 of Pentacles, that would be a really great card to choose. You might also include the Sun, for happiness. See, 4 of Pentacles, you know, is kind of the miser card, but it is a very stable card also with money. Even that Six of Pentacles there. You know, we might even add in, say, the King of Pentacles as the manager to kind of be our guardian for that as well. If I can find him here. There he is. So a lot of pentacles, but those relate to money, or anything that you feel called to. So I might use these 3 or 4 cards here to place on my altar and use them kind of as a touchstone to work off of. So you can use these as kind of a prop to really get your word out and use them as a storyboard. The tarot is a rich storytelling device and works as a good shorthand, especially if you're trying to describe people in any detail or complex situations. So you can use the cards for that sort of thing as well. So, speaking of complex and detailed energies, tarot is a fantastic tool to help you understand your dreams. Dreams use symbolism and storytelling to make sense of the world, and when you understand the rich storytelling system, it makes your dreams a lot easier to understand. So, you know, using the symbolism within the tarot to help you with your dream work. So as well as using the tarot to help unlock the mysteries of dreams, you can also directly apply it to specific scenarios. So if you want to dream of your love, put the Two of Cups under your pillow. If you want to connect more deeply with your dream world, you could try the Moon or the High Priestess. If you want to help puzzle out a certain dream or even a problem in your waking life, put the corresponding card under your pillow. You can try out 2 or 3 if you're having trouble describing your situation with just one. So if you want to send some healing vibes or some sort of vibes to somebody, you could put a tarot card under someone's name or photograph and then send them that kind of energy. You can place one behind their photo in a frame for a long-term spell, like consistently sending them happiness or romantic love. So you could take your Two of Cups and place that card behind their picture within a frame. Or you can use this technique as part of a larger spell for something more specific, like a promotion, travel, or even a court case. So, for example, when I had mentioned the binding a bully with the Justice card, I am just going to pull that one out again, and I'm going to share with you the spell that I used for that. Okay, Justice right there. So this binding spell is from TessWhitehurst.com. So we'll be working closely with the archetype of Justice, specifically for this spell. So what you're going to do is take the Justice card from a tarot deck and place it on your altar. You are going to need a white candle, and you light your white candle as you say the name of the bully. On behalf of all those who would harm, insult, or overpower, I call on the archetypical energy of Justice. With this ancient, swift, and thorough power, I now bind all of your power to harm. And then use the light of the candle to burn the bully's name, full name and/or image on a piece of paper. You can place it in a cauldron if you'd like as well. As it's burning, say, just as this paper is now reduced to ashes, your power to harm is now fully revoked and reduced to nothing. When the ashes are cool, you can mix them with salt and flush them down the toilet, or you can even just throw them in the garbage away from your house. Of course, extinguish the candle, and you can let this spell settle for as long as you like. I believe I did this spell specifically over a full moon, and I found it worked very well. I've also used a specific spell to bring prosperity, and in that time after doing that tarot spell, I had 2 tarot parties booked, and I had a full schedule of tarot readings at the place that I do my monthly tarot readings, so that really helped me as well too. Of course, as witches, we love correspondences. There is a great list of correspondences with spells in this book, The Key to Tarot by Sarah Bartlett. Where is it now? Whoopsie. So let's see, we have, it's mostly for the major arcana, so it's probably within this first little bit here. Okay, so we have talked a bit about the archetypes within the major arcana and a bit of the astrology as well. So here's some astrological influences within the major arcana, and maybe I need to find it. Anyways, there is a chart for cards, candle colors, and specific spells within this book here. So for example, the Justice card, which we have here, candle colors, I might use gray, and I would use this card for decision making or good negotiation. So we had mentioned court cases. This might be a really great card to put on my altar for that sort of reason. Wheel of Fortune here, for example. So orange would be a great color to work with that. Money matters and good fortune. Pull out another major arcana card here. So here we have the moon. The moon is a great card to work with beauty, peace, attracting others, dreams, as we had mentioned, and silver would be a really great candle color to use with that card. Here's one that's usually difficult, the Hierophant. So you might use this card for wisdom, finding lost objects, which is another tarot topic that I might do as a podcast next. Purple is a really great color for the Hierophant, and anything to do with learning or traditions even, I think would be, the Hierophant would be really great for that sort of thing. You might use the Tower. The Tower is one for property issues, perhaps protection, being prepared. The color of candle you might use would be like a vanilla type color, signifying that lightning. And for the last one, let's do the Lovers here. So that's probably a very common card that might get used for a tarot spell. So the Lovers, the color you might use would be green for that heart chakra. You might also use red or pink, anything to symbolize what love means for you. And of course, the Lovers would be good for love spells, romance, harmony, unity, partnerships, all that sort of stuff. So that's how you might use major arcana cards specifically within your tarot spells. If you go to whitewitchacademy.com, they have a great resource of cards to use in any sort of spell you might think of. So for example, if you're looking for a spell for luck and wishes, you could use the Fool, the Magician, the Star, the Sun, the Ace of Wands, the Six of Wands, Eight of Wands for taking action. We had talked about money and financial abundance. So the World would be perfect for that. The Ace of Pentacles, welcoming that money coming your way. Nine of Pentacles for success. That Ten of Pentacles for reaching that full potential. King of Wands as that leader, and possibly Four of Wands as well for that stability and that reason for celebration. Another example from her list there for strengthening your intuition or connecting to your higher power. The High Priestess might have been the first one to come to your mind. That would be perfect. Eight of Cups, the Moon, the Star, the Wheel of Fortune, the Hierophant, the Empress even. If you're looking for more productivity, the Chariot, Two of Pentacles, King of Wands, Three of Wands, Queen of Wands, Ace of Swords, Knight of Swords. These are all great options for incorporating specific cards into your spells. There's also a book called Kitchen Witchcraft, Spells and Charms, and they also have some really great connections between tarot and specific spell work. For courage, the Star, Strength, and the Chariot. To help with the decision, Justice, the Hermit, the Stars, the Lovers. Overcoming bad habits, new business or project success. Fertility, for success, for action or to set things in motion. You can use tarot cards for all of this. Dream work, release guilt and pain, binding spells as we just did. For health, employment, knowledge, luck, overcoming obstacles, protection, transformation, and stress relief. So you can really use tarot for all of those things. You could also make bags or jars. So I did show you this little charm bag. It does have a few things in here. I believe it has that satyr charm in here, and it also has a crystal as well as some herbs sewn in here. But you could sew your little tarot cards within these little charm bags. You can place them in jars, or I had mentioned witch balls. Easy to make and can be made for just about any purpose, and they're very portable. They can also be made really beautiful for display, or can be easily hidden away. You could even slide one of these cards in a crack somewhere, and no one would even know. So if you're trying to be secretive, because of course with the Witch's Pyramid, a good magician doesn't give all their secrets away. So that would be an aspect you could use. Any jar or bag spell can be enhanced by adding a suitable tarot card to the mix. With this kind of spell, it's best to use a tarot deck that you've purchased solely for spell work, and the card might get bent or stained. So if you were putting your tarot cards under your pillow, for example, or carrying them around in your bag, just keep that in mind, as we had mentioned at the beginning. However, a damage card can be used in multiple different spells. You can find secondhand decks, or trade decks, or find inexpensive decks. You can also purchase digital decks that you can print off each card individually, or print a whole thing off, a whole tarot deck off really cheap, and you can find those online just by searching for it. You can even use stickers. And if you want to get really simple, you can even write, Knight of Pentacles on a post-it note, and that would serve perfectly fine. You can burn a tarot card to ashes. You can use it in oils, black salt, or in small quantities. You can use it in incense. You can blend the ashes into the oil salt mixture and add herbs and other ingredients as you normally would, and that imbues that incense with the energies of a specific tarot card. Another tarot spell that I did that worked fairly well, my husband was looking for a new job, so I did a spell for him using the 4 elements. I seem to do that quite a bit within my work. But I pulled out the Magician card for the Manifestor, or him being the creator. So I am going to pull out the Magician. I don't really recall seeing, so it might be a little bit further back here. There's the Fool. Where are you, Magician? And you might find that you would choose different cards than I did. So for example, I had my Magician card up at the very top there, because he is the manifester. I had the Three of Wands, which indicates new opportunities. So I'll find the Three of Wands here next. Keeping in mind with the threes, they are a social number, and one relating to growth, transformation. They're a very social number, and because they come after that Two of Wands, it means a decision's already been made. So my Three of Wands I put to the left hand side, passing through a green adventuring rock for luck, which I had in the middle. We'll say this is my adventuring there. Then I chose the Four of Wands for success and celebration. So these cards I did choose intuitively for what I felt my husband was really looking for. So Four of Wands. Keeping in mind when you do spell work, you want to keep it as positive as you can. So I'm not going to include cards that I don't want to encounter. I'm going to include cards that I do want to encounter. So here we go. My Four of Wands there for success and celebration. And then finally I use the Ten of Pentacles for that, having that success and that money and that that abundance and that prosperity. And I know we just looked at this one recently, so it should be on the edge here. So there we are, Ten of Pentacles. I placed that at the bottom. So I had my four elements. So in the east I had my candle, or sorry, in the east I had my air element. So in this case I had a sage bundle. In the south I had my candle. In the north, or the west, sorry, I had my water, and in the north I had my earth. I also incorporated a success and money powder that a friend of mine who goes by the Tea Witch that she made. So I touched each card, including my luck in the middle with that adventuring with that money powder. And I did all of this while focusing on the end of a waning moon phase, moving into a new moon for those new beginnings, those new opportunities. And I left this out on my altar for several days until I felt that that was in working. It's not something that I thought about on a daily basis because I knew I've done my work and now I'm letting the universe take it. But I did cast a circle to begin with because I do like that ritual aspect, incorporated my four elements, really put the focus in creating this tarot spell, and then let it do its work. And my husband did get a new job opportunity coming his way within that month, so I felt that was very positive. So that's a way that you can incorporate tarot spells as well, by creating your own spell using specific cards that you're looking for. So some books that might be helpful for you. Of course, this Modern Witchcraft book of tarot. There are lots of tarot spells within this book. Candle spell. When I did this this tarot circle with my group, the Sage Wind Tarot Circle, I did share some of the spells from this book. Another great book and deck is this Magickal Tarot. So there's different spreads in here, and spellwork and ritual, incorporating tarot within that as well. So I've found this book has been really helpful. Here's a spell, for example, using the Justice card again for speeding up karma. Another great book for tarot and spellwork is The Magic of Tarot by Sasha Graham. Your Guide to Intuitive Readings, Rituals, and Spells. So is lots of information in here to use tarot within your spellwork and give you some ideas on creating your own spells as well. And finally, this book that I got for Christmas, also by Sasha Graham, 365 Tarot Spells. So you could do a spell a day. You can look up specific spells for specific reasons. She gives you incantations for each card and different spreads that you can use. So if you're really looking to add some magic to your tarot, this is a really great book to have. And again, I was using the Spellcaster's Tarot specifically with this topic, but of course you can use any deck that you connect with. Even as I'd mentioned, printing out decks or scanning cards and printing them out, finding these little mini decks and using them in your spell work as well is a great idea, and they're fairly inexpensive too. So thank you for joining me. I hope you found this episode insightful. If you have any questions or comments, you can email me at handsontarot@gmail.com. You can visit my website at susiegorley.com or find me on Instagram at handsontarot. I also have a Sagewind Tarot Circle that everyone is welcome to join. It's free. It's on Facebook. If you have any questions, you can find information about it on my website in the Sagewind Tarot Circle section. Our next topic will be on integrating tarot journals with our tarot, and that will be on August 27th at 11 o'clock. Right now it's Mountain Time, but Saskatchewan time switches since we don't do daylight savings, but right now it's at 11 o'clock a.m. Sunday, August 27th at 11. So thank you for listening. I'm Susie Gorley, and I see tarot in your future.